Hello, Caroline Reuter, aka my mother. So, you mentioned that Lust and Power was copyrighted in 1988,
Yes, yes, it
according to the
was.
records we have here, the original manuscript. How long can you describe the writing process and how long it took you to write it?
Well, maybe like three months. 3 months. I let me just tell you how it all started. Well, I was married, and at that this is my first marriage, and well, as some first marriages go, he wanted to go to the National Guard, so he left, and well, of course he never came back. And I was working at the time too, and then the apartment that we shared as husband and wife. So one day, believe it or not, they say things happen in threes. Well, they sure do, especially bad things. I lost my husband, I lost my job, and I lost my apartment all in the same day. It was like unbelievable, you know. So anyway, as luck would have it, um, I something weird happened. One day I was walking down the street with my head bowed down to the ground, and I stepped on this this package. And fortunately for me, it turned out to be a good luck charm. So I turned my whole life around, but there was something missing. There was something missing. I had only one child at the
What was in
time.
the package?
Well, it was a gift from God. The package contained something from God, which enabled me to turn my life around.
Was it money?
Yeah, you can say it was money. It was definitely money. Anyway, so at the time I had one son, Gerald. We moved in, but something was missing. Something was missing from my life. I felt this void. I felt this emptiness, and like I said, three things all in one time was way too much for me. So I always like going to thrift stores. So one day I was at this thrift store and I came across this old fashioned typewriter. And I'm like, wow, this is an old IBM with the little high buttons and everything. So I just bought it, and I brought it home. And I said, I was going to become a writer. I had so much to say and so many things in my heart. So I just sat at the machine, and luckily for me, it had the ink and the old fashioned ribbons that you have to wield and roll and everything like that. The blue ones, the red ones, and the black ones. So I sat there, and then all of a sudden, God, he just he just came into the room. He said, "You got a story to tell. You're gonna be a writer." Then all of a sudden, I just started typing, and in my mind, I had this character. His name was Adam. He wasn't God. As a matter of fact, he was very ungodly. He liked power, you know. He liked being in control of everything and everyone. By the way, which I had no control of nothing in my life. So I'm thinking that the character kind of sprung and was born because of everything that I had gone through. And my character was strong, powerful. He controlled every aspect of his life and everybody in his life and everybody around him. So I came up with this story and this character, and I deemed the name of the manuscript to be Lust and Power. Complete control of one's life, complete control of everything around them, totally. So I started typing, and to my surprise, everything just started pouring out of me. I mean, every word, every thought, just pen to pencil to paper, just type, 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 type. It just never stopped. It's like something was a force inside of me. It was pulling me and driving me, and all the characters just even now when I think about the characters, you know, I even named one of my kids Sherry, but in my book the person's name is Cherry. But you know, everybody has like a connection in my book. Like some of the people in my book reminded me of some of the people in my life, but just a little bit. And I think maybe I build my characters on some of the people in my life, some of the good, the bad, and ugly. You know, it's not a true story. It's all fictitious. You know, it's nothing in my story that's true. Because I remember when I let one person read a few pages of my book years and years ago, and they would say, "Is that you? Is that how you think? Is that in you?" I'm like, "Sweetie, it's all in me. Everything you read came from me, my imagination, my thoughts. But is that me? No, it's coming from me. It's my ability to build a character, to create circumstances, situations. It just, it's in me to write. I mean, I loved it. I mean, I just love it. It's just there. You know, I wake up and I'm like, oh God, where's my pencil? Where's my paper? And right there, more of my character, more on Adam.
So did it? So it took you a couple months to write. Did it take you the whole year to write?
Well, actually, it only took me 1 or 2 months to write.
Okay.
Because like I said, it all flowed from me so quickly. It made me even shorter. I mean, God gave me the voice that day to become a writer, and I did like 4 or 5 different manuscripts over the years. It was just in me. It's in me, and I just wrote. It just poured out of me, and the more it poured, the more I wrote.
So what's interesting to me is the concept of lust mixed with power. So you talked about how you were powerless in that time. What made you write on lust and power particularly? Because a lot of the content I've noticed, there's a sexual nature to it, and there's a lot of sexual language, and the women that Adam are with. What made you want to write about both lust and power?
Well, keeping it real, the world is a bad place. Well, it can be a good place too. And my character, keeping it real, as you say, he was all those things. Like I said, I mentioned the good, the bad, and the ugly. He was all those things. And he had this power. And he craved everything. He craved lust. He was lustful of women. And he craved power.
So it's not just sexual lust, it's lust of
it's,
everything.
It's the ability to control everyone and everything and to get exactly what you want, no matter what. No matter who you got to step on. Adam did it all. And it was this evilness in Adam. You know, my character was evil. You know, he wanted to control his wife, everybody, his friends. He don't care who he had to step on to get it.
What do you think was Adam's weakness? Does Adam have a weakness, or do you think that he was just full dominant the whole time?
Well, Adam was evil. You know, there may have been something nice about Adam, but Adam was evil. Adam, and to be able to control everything and everyone and not care about who you hurt and who you step on. You know, see, remember in my life, I was stepped on and I was hurt. And I think everything about Adam was everything I was feeling, you know, maybe even sexually deprived. Because, you know, there at that time, my first husband left me for another woman. So, you know, as a woman myself, these are all the things that I didn't have, but Adam got. And he got him whichever way he could. And he obtained him. Whatever he had to do to get him, he did it. But see, I'm not evil. Me as a person, I can't do what Adam did, but my character can. It's just a story. I mean, it's not in me. As some people ask me, is that you? Is that in you? I'm like, no, that's not in me. It's my character. It's my ability to make my character whatever I want him to be.
So the story opens with the fire of Adam's parents. Do you think that affected his life a lot? I mean, I haven't finished the novel completely, so maybe I'll see a little bit more on that. But how do you think that impacted the way Adam turned out to be?
Well, like I said, Adam was evil. Adam was heartless. I don't. I at this point, um, I don't think Adam really had the understanding of what death was, or he. I mean, and maybe he did, but I think it only in the end it just really it did shape him. Yeah, it did. But what Adam really felt, no one really knows. When you're evil, and there's some good things, there's some bad things about Adam. I don't really know, but I would guess that yeah, it affected him. It would have to. It was his mother and father.
Okay. Do you have any closing remarks on any of the things we talked about today? What's one thing you want readers to think about while reading your book?
Um, that you can do just about anything you want to do in this world, and you can be whatever you want to be in this world. You just have to want it bad enough, and you have to have a story to tell. And in my case, I was driven, and it started. I just heard this voice, and I believe that to this day, I'll tell you, I believe it was God. He spoke to me. He said, "Young lady, you're going to be a writer." Because here, let me share this with you. At the time in my life, I was told, different things, and I only had one child. And all the things I wanted in my life, and by the way, I have 4 children now, which makes 5. And at that time, I only had one. So there was a lot of things missing from my life at that time. There was a lot of things that I craved, a lot of things that I wanted. And at that moment, I knew that God would provide all things if I just be still. And my way of waiting on God was writing the good, the bad, and the ugly. Adam. To this day, sometimes I think about Adam. I know he's not a real person, but he's a character in my book. But he was powerful. He was powerful. And he did whatever he had to do to get what he wanted.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Mom.